if we understand the concepts well, the entire process of valuation becomes very interesting. So, what is the first concept? The first concept is what is value? And value is worth of something. Value is worth of something. What is valuation? Valuation is to find out what that worth is. That is valuation. What is valuation? Valuation is to find out what that thing is worth. That is valuation. Why valuation? Now, this is, friends, a question that you must understand very clearly. Why valuation? Why valuation? There is only one reason as to why you do valuation. And what that reason is decision making. Decision making. So, what is valuation? Valuation is the process to find worth of an asset for the purpose of taking a decision. Remember, you will never do valuation without a purpose. You will always do valuation with a purpose. And what that purpose is to take a decision. Decision about that asset. So that is your why valuation. Valuation because you have to take a decision, you want to take a decision, and for taking that decision, you want to find out what is the worth of that asset. If I have to purchase it, at what price should I buy it? If I have to sell it, at what price should I sell it actually? And that is your why valuation. Now the last concept, last question, what you do in valuation? Now please understand, जब आप वैल्यूएशन कर रहे हैं तो वैल्यूएशन का मतलब ये नहीं है कि एक एक्सेल में एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हैं. वैल्यूएशन का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप एक लैपटॉप में बैठ के किसी प्रोग्राम में कुछ कर रहे हैं. Valuation, what you do in valuation, and it is very simple. What you do in valuation, through the process of the evaluation, you try to find out what is the worth of the asset in which you are interested one way or the other. You want to find out worth of an asset in which you are interested either to buy it or to sell it, or you may have any other interest. And that is what you do in valuation. And this is what you must remember. This is what you must remember. So therefore, as a valuation professional, your role is extremely important. Your role is extremely important. Please remember, as a valuer, what you are doing. As a valuer, you are not merely doing an exercise in Excel sheet. You're not merely doing and filling some papers. As a valuer, you are helping the corporate in taking decisions. Decisions involving millions and billions of rupees sometimes. And that is the importance of a valuation professional, because valuation professional with his valuation helps the corporate in taking decision, and that is the importance of a valuer and valuation professional. These 5 things, friends, you have to constantly remember. And what those 5 things are: the first thing is, what is value? Value is what is a worth of an asset. That is value. What is valuation? To find out what is the worth of that asset is valuation. Why valuation? Because you want to take a decision. It may be you who is wanting to take a decision, or as a valuation professional, it may be your client who wants to take a decision. So that is why valuation. And what you do in valuation, remember, in valuation you are not doing a paper exercise. In valuation you are just not filling the papers. In valuation you are not just working on in the Excel sheet. In valuation, by using your knowledge, your understanding, your experience, your expertise, your awareness, and everything, by using all that, you are trying to find worth of an asset, and that is what is valuation, and that is what we need to remember. और पांचवी चीज जो कि और भी ज्यादा जरूरी है, और वो ये कि वैल्यूअर की इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है. रिमेंबर, एज अ वैल्यूअर आपकी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस है. आपका रोल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. और क्यों आपका रोल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है? बिकॉज आपके वैल्यूएशन के बेसिस पर हिंदुस्तान में नहीं बल्कि पूरी दुनिया में कंपनीज टेक डिसीजंस वर्थ मिलियंस एंड बिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स और पाउंड्स और यूरोज और व्हाट नॉट एक्चुअली, or rupees, of course. So that is the important. That means what you are doing as a professional valuer, you are helping the corporate take decisions. So these are the 5 things, friends, that I would like you to remember. Let's move further. As a valuer, it is extremely important that you understand the difference between the cost and price. And why should you understand the difference between the cost and price? You should understand the difference between the cost and price for the simple reason because your job is to help the corporate to take decision. So what is the cost? How it is different from price? Cost, remember friends, is a reality. Cost is a reality and price is a policy. So what is the difference between the cost and the price? The difference between the cost and the price is cost is reality, price is policy. Cost is what it is. If a product is costing 1000 rupees, it is costing 1000 rupees. Somebody can make a mistake in doing the costing correctly, but that does not change the cost of that product. अगर एक प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में 1000 रुपए का खर्चा हो रहा है तो वो 1000 रुपए का ही खर्चा हो रहा है. समबडी में मेक ए मिस्टेक, कोई गलती कर सकता है कॉस्टिंग में और वो कॉस्टिंग में गलती करके 1000 के बजाय 900 लिख सकता है, 1000 के बजाय 1100 लिख सकता है. रिमेंबर, वो उसके 900 लिखने से, उसके 1100 लिखने से कॉस्ट बदलने वाली नहीं है. कॉस्ट अभी भी 1000 रुपया ही है. एंड दैट इज द रियलिटी. इट इज व्हाट इट इज. जो एक प्रोडक्ट की जो कॉस्ट है वो है, उससे वो एक पैसा ज़्यादा नहीं है, उससे एक पैसा कम नहीं है. एंड व्हाट इज प्राइस? प्राइस इज अ पॉलिसी. एंड व्हाई प्राइस इज अ पॉलिसी? व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ प्राइस बीइंग अ पॉलिसी? The meaning of price being a policy is it is up to the management of company, of a business to decide at what price they must sell their product. A company, depending on the market situation, can decide to sell the product at a premium, at a super premium, at a marginal profit, at a good profit, at a break even, and sometimes at a normal break even, sometimes at the cash break even. Sometimes, if the times are bad, if the industry is in a bad shape, if the economy is in the bad shape, then sometimes, or with a view to get an entry into a new market, a company may even decide to sell the product initially at loss. So therefore, price is policy. Price can change depending on the market environment, depending on the economic environment, depending on what is the objective of yours as a business. And therefore, please remember, as a businessman, and also as a professional valuer, you and I need to understand the difference between the price and the cost. And the cost, remember, is reality. It is what it is. एक पैसा कम नहीं, एक पैसा ज़्यादा नहीं. And what is price? Price is a policy. Price is a policy. That means I would decide as a company कि मुझे मेरा प्रोडक्ट कितने में सेल करना चाहिए, depending on what is my long-term vision is. Then we also need to understand what is the difference between the price and the value. And remember, friends, it's again very important for every one of us to understand the difference between the price and the policy. Price and the value. So what is the difference between the price and the value? And the price is what you pay. Price is what you pay. Value is what you receive from it. Price is what you pay for a product, and value is what you receive from that product. And therefore, friends, as a businessman, as a professional, what should be our aim in our business or in our profession? Our aim in our business or our profession should be to ensure that our customer always has the perception that the value which he is getting from the product that he is buying from us, or the value that he is getting from the service that he is getting from us, is much more than the price which he is paying for it. And that is the difference between the price and the value. So price is what you pay for a product, and value is what you get from this product. And as a long-term business strategy, where should be our base? Our base should be to ensure that the value that the customer gets from the product that we sell is always perceived to be much higher than the price that he is paying to us. And believe me, if this is the philosophy of your business, if this is the philosophy of profession, you will never have any competition in your profession. because you are always exceeding the expectation of your customer. And remember, so long as you and I keep on exceeding the expectations of our customer, you and I will keep on progressing without any difficulty for all the times to come. As a matter of fact, you and I will have a long queue of the customers outside, because everybody wants on this earth that he must get more value than the price which he is paying. And remember, there's a big connection between the valuation and this understanding between the price and the value. What is the connection? The connection is, and I am sure all of you can understand, आप बड़ी आसानी से ये सवाल का आंसर समझ सकते हैं कि एक बिजनेस जहां पर कि जिसके प्रोडक्ट के बारे में, जिसकी सर्विस के बारे में कस्टमर को लगता है he is getting more value than the price which he is paying for the product. This is one situation. पहली सिचुएशन क्या है? पहली सिचुएशन ये है कि कस्टमर को लगता है कि वो जो प्रोडक्ट आपसे ले रहा है और उसके लिए वो जो प्राइस आपको पे कर रहा है, उसके अगेंस्ट में उसको जो वैल्यू मिल रही है, वो वैल्यू उस प्राइस से बहुत कहीं ज़्यादा है. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि योर कंपनी विल बी कंसिडर्ड टू बी एक्सट्रीमली वैल्यूएबल. The valuations of your company will automatically go up. And on the contrary, second situation, and what is the second situation? The second situation is customer को लगता है कि वो जो प्राइस पे कर रहा है आपके प्रोडक्ट के लिए, आपको जो प्राइस पे कर रहा है और वो उसको जो वैल्यू मिल रही है, that value is far too less than the price that he is paying to you for that product. And you can imagine what will happen to your business. Believe me, without any doubt, this business sooner than later will close down. And that is what we need to understand, the connection between the understanding as to what is price, what is value, and what is valuation. So if we have to value a company as a valuation professional, we also need to examine as to what is the perception about the products of this company by the customer. Of course, you will have to do many things for coming to the valuation, but this is also one aspect that you need to remember. Friends, अगर मैं आपको बताऊं कि अगर ये 7 चीज़ें जो मैंने आपसे डिस्कस करी हैं अभी, कि वैल्यू क्या है, वैल्यूएशन क्या है, क्यों करते हैं वैल्यूएशन, क्या करते हैं आप वैल्यूएशन में, और कॉस्ट और प्राइस में क्या फ़र्क है, प्राइस और वैल्यू में क्या फ़र्क है, और एज ए वैल्यूएशन प्रोफेशनल आपकी क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है. अगर ये 8 चीज़ें आपने बराबर तरीके से समझ ली तो समझ लीजिए कि आपने 70% ऑफ वैल्यूएशन समझ लिया. बिकॉज एवरीथिंग एल्स इज नट्स एंड बोल्ट्स. Everything else is nuts and bolts, and that is the reason why I'm writing in the slide. If you see there, it says this slide is the foundation for gaining total understanding of valuation. तो अगर आप में से कोई अगर वैल्यूएशन के प्रोफेशन को भी परसू करना चाहता हो तो ये 8 चीज़ों को हमेशा याद रखिए as to what these 8 things are. Let's go forward and understand as to what is value. And as I said, value is the key factor for any financial or non-financial decision making. Obviously, कोई सा भी डिसीजन हो, फाइनेंशियल डिसीजन हो, नॉन फाइनेंशियल डिसीजन हो, if you have to take a decision, you cannot take that decision on ad hoc basis. ऐसा नहीं है कि दो पर्चियों पे लिखा और एक पर्ची उठा ली और जो पर्ची में निकला वो डिसीजन ले लिया. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने एक कॉइन को फ्लिप किया, चित आया क्या पट आया, उसके बेसिस पे डिसीजन ले लिया. नो. In the corporate, and not only remember in the corporate, in our personal life also, when we have to take a decision, we always do a calculation in our mind. We may not be aware of it, but that calculation is always happening in the mind at the conscious level or at the subconscious level. And by doing that calculation, we realize as to what is this worth it, and then we take a decision. Remember, that is what value is. Then what is valuation? Valuation is the process of arriving at that key factor. वो key factor क्या है? वो key factor है worth, value. And what is valuation? Valuation is to find out that value. और valuation में आप क्या करते हो? वैल्यूएशन में आप वो सब कुछ करते हो जिससे आपको उस कंपनी की, उस बिजनेस की, उस एसेट की, उस सिक्योरिटी की, उस लाइबिलिटी की वैल्यू मालूम करने में मदद मिलती है. दैट इज व्हाट यू डू. एंड उसके लिए बहुत सारे अप्रोचेज हैं. उन अप्रोचेज के अंडर मेथड्स हैं. वी विल ऑल्सो हैव अ look at as to what those approaches are, what those methods are. We would also look at them, but for the time being, remember, valuation is the process of arriving at that key factor, and that key factor is the value. For becoming a successful valuation professional, let us make a permanent memory of the linking between valuation, value, and decision making. Valuation, value, and decision making. I have discussed this with you already as to what is the difference between the price and the value, and I have also discussed with you what is the difference between the cost and the price, and therefore we can straight away now come to the valuation process. What is the valuation process? And I am sure आप सभी के दिमाग में ये क्वेश्चन आ रहा होगा, खास तौर से उनके जो कि वैल्यूएशन प्रोफेशनल नहीं हैं, qualified or otherwise. It's not that only those who are qualified as valuation professional, only those are the people who are valuation professional. It is not necessary. Someone who is not qualified, someone who is not registered, it is quite possible that someone may have been doing valuation for a long time, so he can be much better valuer than sometimes with the ones those who have formal qualification. So this question must be coming in the minds of every one of you. और यहाँ पर मैं चाहूँगा कि आप जरा सा मुझे बताएं, जो भी आप में से बताना चाहें, कि और अब पूरा आंसर देने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. गिव मी जस्ट वन आंसर. वन पर्सन अमॉन्ग ऑल ऑफ यू कैन टेल एवरी वन ऑफ अस as to what is the purpose for which you do valuation in your understanding. आपके एक्सपीरियंस के हिसाब से, आपके पास्ट में जो आपने जो किया है उसके बेसिस के ऊपर, या आपकी इमेजिनेशन के हिसाब से, व्हाट आर द पर्पसेस ऑफ वैल्यूएशन. एंड आई वुड लाइक वन ऑफ यू टू से दैट. Then I would like someone to also mention as to what is the premise of valuation. What do you understand by the premise of valuation? Of course, we will discuss all these points together in any case. But before that, just to the warming up, just to ensure, just to stimulate your thinking, just to get you into the whole discussion, I would like one of you to also share as to what is the premise of valuation in your understanding. And then of course, determining the standard of value. What is standard of value? Anyone can answer that. And then what is EIC analysis? What is EIC analysis? What does it stand for? And what do you do in EIC analysis? And why you do whatever you do in EIC analysis? And then of course, I'm sure some of you must be definitely registered valuer, and those of you can definitely mention as to what are the approaches that you use for the purpose of valuation, what are the methods that you use for the purpose of valuation. But please remember, unmute yourself, and only one person at a time. And once you unmute yourself and you have made up your point, don't forget to mute yourself once again. And this is open to all of you, everyone.
To make a transaction.
Yes, Sureshji, please go ahead. Sureshji, I can hear you.
To make a transaction.
Yeah.
To make a transaction.
Okay.
Transaction is being done to make a transaction.
Okay. What transaction?
It could be sale. It could be merger. It could be amalgamation.
Okay. Very good. What else? और क्या? What else?
To know the worth of the value.
Yeah.
So that any financial institute can give you loan or give you the finance support.
Yeah, Rath साहब, we would like that you give a specific purpose actually. कि इस चीज की.
There are so many purposes.
Yeah. For example.
This is one of the purpose I told.
Yeah.
There are so many.
Like what?
Said for insolvency, then for the merger.
Okay.
Then for the transfer of management.
Very good.
So valuation is the basic part of an organization.
Fantastic. Very good.
One can go through.
Very good, Ratsa. Very good. Very good. Let somebody now go to the second stage and answer as to what is the premise of valuation. And yeah, what is premise of valuation? I think that's good enough. Anyone? Anyone other than those who have spoken. So I would like everybody should get into the discussion. So जो बोल चुके हैं उनके अलावा कोई बताएं कि what is premise of valuation. Yes, Arvind Dakshan ji. What is the premise of valuation?
Didn't actually get your question. What is the premise? Huh?
Yeah, see, that is okay. So if you haven't got the question, then don't worry about it, Govind Rajan ji. Let somebody answer it.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody who understands this question can answer as to what is the premise of valuation.
Going concern.
Yeah.
Going concern concept. Liquidation.
Okay, liquidation and going concern. Very good, of course. Very good. Fantastic. Very nice. Very good. Okay, let's go to the next one. Anyone? What is the standard of value? What is the standard of value? Anyone? Anyone other than those who have spoken already? Anyone other than those who have spoken already?
Standard of value.
Yeah, standard of value, yes. Subhash ji, would you like to answer this? All right, friends. So let's understand this one by one. Purpose, obviously, as I said, what is valuation? Valuation is to find value. Valuation is to find value of an asset about which you want to take a decision. So if you want to take a decision, that means you have a purpose to fulfill. So the process of valuation starts with the purpose. Unless and until you are clear about the purpose for which you want to do valuation, you will not be able to do the valuation. So that is the first thing. What the purposes are, we would understand as we move forward one by one. Then the second thing, once you know the purpose, एक बार आपको मालूम पड़ जाए कि आपका purpose क्या है, the next thing that you need to know, what is the premise on which you have to do the valuation. And what is the premise on which you have to do the evaluation? There are only two premises. The premise number one is doing the valuation on a going concern basis. That means जिस कंपनी का आपको वैल्यूएशन करना है, जिस एसेट का आपको वैल्यूएशन करना है, वो एसेट गोइंग कंसर्न है. That means it's a running business. It's a running business. So that is one premise for the purpose of valuation, and that is going concern. What is the second premise? The second premise is liquidation. So in case, say for example, a company which has gone to NCLT, you may also need to do the valuation on liquidation basis. And that means what? That means in case of a going concern, valuation is going to be based on the income of that company, the future income of that company. In case of liquidation premise, valuation is going to be based on what will be realized from the disposal of the assets of that company. This is the difference. These are the two premises. Premise number one is the going concern and premise number two is the liquidation. And the difference between these two premises, number one, as far as the going concern is concerned, valuation is going to be based on the income, future income, earning capacity of the entity. As far as the liquidation premise is concerned, the valuation is going to be based on the liquidation value. That is, if this company is going in for liquidation, अगर ये कंपनी बंद होने वाली है और अगर ये कंपनी बंद होने वाली है तो इसकी एसेट्स को सेल करने के बाद और उसके लिए जो खर्चे हुए हैं उसको माइनस करने के बाद कितना हाथ में आएगा, that is going to be the valuation under the valuation premise. Then friends, we need to look at the standard of value, and there are 5 different standards of value. I'm going to come to that in the following slide. And then there is something called EIC analysis. What is EIC analysis? Let me just introduce the EIC analysis to you at this point in time so that it is clear to you. EIC, E stands for economy, I stands for industry, and C stands for company. सो आप समझ सकते हैं कि अगर आपको किसी कंपनी का वैल्यूएशन करना है, एंड अस्यूमिंग दैट यू हैव टू डू द वैल्यूएशन under the going concern premise, then obviously you would like to know as to how is the revenue earning capacity of this entity, how is the cash flow, how are the cash flow of this company. So that is what you would need to find out. And therefore, how do you find out? Can you find out earning capacity of an entity in isolation? And the answer is no. And why the answer is no? Because the revenues of a company will depend on the condition in which the economy is. Revenue of a company will depend in the condition in which the industry is. So if the economy is not doing well, industry is not doing well, there is full possibility the company also will not be doing well. And if the company is not going to be doing well, that means the valuations are going to be low. And that is what is EIC analysis. So as a valuation professional, friends, it is something which is very, very critical, very, very important that all of us have to be very good in EIC analysis. We should be able to understand the economy and understand the impact of the economy on the industry. We should be able to have good understanding of the industry and should be able to understand the impact of the industry on the company. And then of course, we should be also able to understand the company. And when I say company, that means whole thing about the company. The promoters, the management, the history, the product, the market, the geography, the profitability, the costing, everything. Then only you will be able to arrive at the right kind of valuation for that company. So that is your step number 4, EIC analysis. ये चारों स्टेज पूरा करने के बाद then you come to the 5th stage, and in 5th stage you decide कि मुझे कौन सी अप्रोच अप्लाई करनी चाहिए. तो अगर मुझे इस कंपनी का वैल्यूएशन करना है तो इस कंपनी के वैल्यूएशन के लिए व्हाट अप्रोच शुड आई अप्लाई. एंड रिमेंबर फ्रेंड्स, देयर आर 3 अप्रोचेस. तो बहुत ज़्यादा झंझट नहीं है, बहुत ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं है. 3 अप्रोचेस हैं. कौन सी 3 अप्रोचेस हैं? फर्स्ट अप्रोच इज इनकम अप्रोच, सेकेंड अप्रोच इज मार्केट अप्रोच, एंड थर्ड अप्रोच इज कॉस्ट अप्रोच और द असेट अप्रोच. और देखिए, नो बिग डील. इनकम अप्रोच का क्या मतलब है? इनकम अप्रोच का मतलब है इन केस इफ यू आर डूइंग वैल्यूएशन ऑफ अ कंपनी using the income approach, that means you will be using income of that company for arriving value of that company, isn't it? It is as simple as that. So income approach. Under the income approach, there are 2 different methods. We will look at them when we come to that stage. Then you have a market approach. What is market approach? Market approach is कि अगर मेरी कंपनी और कोई दूसरी कंपनी सारे मामलों में एक जैसी हैं, तो इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब ये है कि उस कंपनी का जो वैल्यूएशन आ रहा है, assuming that everything else is same or more or less same, I should also get the same kind of valuation for my company. So that is your market approach. यानी कि मार्केट अप्रोच क्या है? मार्केट अप्रोच, इनकम अप्रोच में आप क्या करते हो? इनकम अप्रोच में आप कंपनी का वैल्यूएशन करते हो बेस्ड ऑन द इनकम ऑफ द कंपनी, और मार्केट अप्रोच में आप कंपनी का वैल्यूएशन करते हो बेस्ड ऑन हाउ दिस कंपनी, जिसका क्या वैल्यूएशन कर रहे हैं, इज कंपेरेबल विद अदर कंपनी हुज वैल्यूएशंस आर अवेलेबल. और in case if this company is listed on a stock market, then the stock price of this company on the share market becomes the value of this company. So this is what you do in case of the market approach. And the third approach that you have is known as asset approach. Asset approach अगेन वेरी सिंपल, असेट अप्रोच नाम से ही मालूम पड़ता है कि इस कंपनी का वैल्यूएशन कैसे होगा. इस कंपनी का वैल्यूएशन विल बी डन बेस्ड ऑन द असेट्स ऑफ द कंपनी, बेस्ड ऑन द असेट्स ऑफ द कंपनी. सो दैट मीन्स व्हाट, दैट मीन्स आप क्या करोगे, जिस कंपनी का आपको वैल्यूएशन करना है आप मालूम करोगे उसकी कंपनी की एसेट्स क्या हैं, और उस कंपनी की जो एसेट्स हैं उसकी उसकी टोटल ले लो, और वो जो एसेट्स का टोटल आया उसमें से जो कंपनी की लाइबिलिटीज़ हैं लाइबिलिटीज़ को माइनस कर दो, और जो बचा आपके हाथ में उसमें जो आप ये सारा जो खर्चा करोगे वो माइनस कर दो, और जो आपके हाथ में बचेगा दैट इज़ द वैल्यूएशन ऑफ दैट कंपनी. एंड आई एम श्योर यू कैन वेरी इजीली अंडरस्टैंड कि दो प्रीमाइसेस की जो हमने बात करी. पहली प्रीमाइस इज द गोइंग कंसर्न अप्रोच. तो गोइंग कंसर्न प्रीमाइस, तो गोइंग कंसर्न प्रीमाइस का इस्तेमाल आप कहाँ करोगे, जब जिस किसी कंपनी का वैल्यूएशन अगर आप गोइंग कंसर्न के बेसिस पर करने वाले हो तो विच अप्रोच विल यू यूज. ऑब्वियसली यू विल यूज द इनकम अप्रोच एंड यू विल ऑल्सो यूज द मार्केट अप्रोच. लेकिन अगर आपको एक कंपनी का वैल्यूएशन ऑन लिक्विडेशन प्रीमाइस के ऊपर करना है देन विच अप्रोच विल यू यूज, देन यू विल यूज द asset approach, because there when the company is going in for liquidation, obviously is future income projections has got no meaning, because कंपनी बंद होने वाली है, और जब कंपनी बंद होने वाली है तो फ्यूचर इनकम का सवाल ही पैदा नहीं उठता है, और अगर फ्यूचर इनकम नहीं होने वाली है तो फ्यूचर इनकम के बेसिस पर वैल्यूएशन करने का कोई मतलब नहीं है. एंड दैट इज हाउ यू विल यूज द asset अप्रोच. तो ये 3 अप्रोचेज हैं, और ये सब करने के बाद ये आपने 5 स्टेप्स फॉलो किए फ्रेंड्स, ये आपका कंप्लीट प्रोसेस है ऑफ द वैल्यूएशन. ये 5 स्टेप्स आपने फॉलो किए, यू विल ऑटोमेटिकली बी एबल टू रीच टू द वैल्यू ऑफ दैट एंटिटी. अब इसमें कुछ और चीज़ें हैं, अब वो अलग अलग मेथड्स हैं, तो अलग अलग मेथड्स के लिए आपको अलग अलग इन्फॉर्मेशन निकालने पड़ेंगे कि इंडस्ट्री का ग्रोथ क्या है, कंपनी का ग्रोथ क्या है, कंपनी की कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल क्या है. कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल को समझना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल उतना सिंपल नहीं है जितना कि हम बोलते हैं. कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल में बहुत सारे वेरिएशंस हैं. कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल में वेटेड एवरेज कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल है, कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल में कॉस्ट ऑफ इक्विटी है, और भी कई सारे अलग अलग कॉस्ट है जो आपको समझने पड़ेंगे. और उसके अलावा आपको ये भी समझना पड़ेगा कि ये कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल डिटरमिन कैसे करेंगे. सो दिस इज द एंटायर प्रोसेस. ये once you do all these 5 things that you see on the screen that I have discussed with you, understanding of the purpose, premise for the valuation, standard of value, EIC analysis, and the approach and the methodology that you want to use for the purpose of valuation. Once you finish these 5 things, you will be ready with the valuation. Now friends, look at them one by one. तो सबसे पहले हम देखेंगे कि what are the purposes for which the valuations are done. So first of all, let's understand as to how what are the purposes for which the businesses do the valuation. अब देखिए बहुत सारे कारण हैं, as you can see on the screen there are so many reasons for which you will need to do valuation. On the face of it, it looks that you do the valuation only for merger or amalgamation, for issuing capital, or for making transfer of the shares. It is not so. So the valuation, remember, can be for a transaction, and the transaction can be of corporate restructuring, and that is where all of you have said mergers, amalgamations, IPOs, buyback or buyout, sale or purchase of assets, tangible as well as intangible. So not only as a valuation professional you need to do the valuation of tangible assets, you also need to do the valuation of intangible assets. And friends, let me tell you at this point in time, contrary to popular belief कि दुनिया भर में जितनी कंपनियां हैं वो टेंजिबल एसेट्स का इस्तेमाल ज़्यादा करती हैं मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए या फिर सर्विस के लिए, द फैक्ट ऑफ लाइफ इज all the companies across the globe use more intangible assets in their businesses than the tangible asset that they use. Interestingly, and please pay attention here, interestingly, many a times a company may be owning intangible assets, and these intangible assets may not be reflecting on the balance sheet of a company. That is also possible, and it is not possible. It happens in case of many companies. In case of many companies, it happens. So the transaction can be for the sale or purchase of a tangible asset or of an intangible asset. It can be for reverse merger, recapitalization, participation by a new investor. So a private equity wants to come into your company, a venture capital wants to come into your company, or anybody else wants to come into your company and invest his money. So how do you take that decision? How do you decide as to at what price this gentleman should be issued the shares? And that is where you will need to do the valuation. LBO, leveraged buyouts, disinvestment, ESOP, and project planning. So all these transactions that you see on the screen are the reasons for which you will need to do the valuation. And please remember, by no means what you see on the screen is supposed to be an exhaustive list. Many more things can be added to it. The second reason for the valuations to be done is compliance. Compliance with the provisions under FEMA, under transfer pricing, Income Tax Act, and SEBI. So under these four statutes, at one time or the other, a company has to do the valuation, and those valuations need to be reported to SEBI, to RBI, to the income tax authorities, and so this is the second reason for which the evaluation may be required. Compliance. Third is financial reporting. We all are aware that now globally the accounting system has undergone a change. More than 50 countries across the globe have already adopted or adapted IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. So पूरी दुनिया में IFRSs have become already in force, effective. And IFRSs, I'm sure all of you would be aware, are based on the fair value accounting. So all along, before the and in India, we also have adapted IFRS. So in India also, the accounting standards have undergone a change progressively in last 2-3 years, starting with the companies based on their net worth. And today, all the listed companies and all the companies whose net worth is more than 250 crores, they have to compulsorily prepare their accounts based on Ind AS. Ind AS is Indian Accounting Standards, which is nothing but adapted version of IFRS. So in the old accounting gap that we had in this country, of course, the companies to which the Ind AS is not applicable, they continue to prepare the accounts based on the old system. The old system was based on the historical accounting. That means you bought an asset 50 years back, 10 years back, 20 years back. You would continue to show that asset in your books at the price at which you bought. Historical accounting. Not anymore. Today, under the Ind AS and under the IFRS, the focus is on fair value accounting. And what is the meaning of fair value accounting? The meaning of fair value accounting is you don't report your assets in your balance sheet based on the historical price. Now you report the assets in your balance sheet based on the fair value. That means what? That means every year when you are going to close your accounts, and assuming that Ind AS has become applicable in your case, assuming that the company that you are working for or the client that you are working for is having a net worth of 250 crore plus, in that case, this company will have to compulsorily go for accounting based on the Ind AS, and that means the focus is going to be on fair value and not on the historical. So for the financial reporting, you will be required to do valuation, impairment testing, purchase price allocation. So impairment testing is in case of Ind AS 36, which is on impairment test. So at the end of at every balance sheet date, you will have to check for all the assets that you have as to is there any impairment in the value of those assets. That means what? That means is it that the carrying amount of these assets in the balance sheet is more than the recoverable amount. So if the carrying amount of an asset in the balance sheet is more than the recoverable amount of that asset, that means there is an impairment. So how will you figure out that there is an impairment? That means somebody will have to do the valuation. And when somebody does the valuation, then only you would know there is an impairment or there is no impairment. So in case if there is an impairment, you have to take that cost in your P&L. So for impairment testing under Ind AS 36, purchase price allocation. So under in case of Ind AS 103, which is on business combination. So in case of Ind AS 103, which is on business combination, in case if you are acquiring a company and merging it into your company, you are paying a price for acquiring this company and merging it into your company. So what you will need to do, the assets that you are getting by way of merger, you will have to allocate the price to all the assets that you have got by way of the merger. So that means what? That means all the assets that you have got as a result of merger will need to be revalued, will need to be valued, we will need to be fair valued. So somebody will have to do the fair valuation, and then you will allocate the price. जो आपने मर्जर, जो आपने कंपनी खरीदी और उसके लिए जो आपने प्राइस पे करी, वो प्राइस आप allocate करोगे. दैट इज नॉन एज purchase price allocation as per Ind AS 103, or which is on business combination. There you will need there you will need fair value. So fair value is going to be required for the financial reporting. It can also be for estate planning, it can also be for personal financial planning, that you need to do the valuation. In case of litigation, bankruptcy है, आप सभी को मालूम है, because all of you are insolvency professional and you understand it very well. As a matter of fact, those of you who are appointed as IRP, the first thing that you need to do is to appoint the valuer, to appoint the valuer, and appoint the valuer, two valuers, so that they can tell you as to what is the value of this company. So litigation in case of bankruptcy, in case of shareholders dispute, the classic example is Mukesh Ambani, Anil Ambani. What happened after the sad demise of the respected Dhirubhai Ambani. Both these brothers had a disagreement, and both these brothers wanted to work separately, and therefore the entire Reliance Group was valued. So shareholders dispute. There can also be marital dissolutions. There also again you will need the valuation. Intellectual property disputes will also require valuation. Ownership dispute, contractual dispute, dissenting and oppressing shareholder. So these are all the situations, friends, where you will need the valuation. That means what? That means purpose of valuation can come from any of these things that you see on the screen. And remember, as I said earlier, by no means I am suggesting that the list that you see on the screen, on your screen, is the exhaustive list. No, it's not exhaustive list. It's just an indicative list, just to give you a flair of the situation, just to give you an idea as to which are the situation that would require the valuation. तो ये हमारा पहला स्टेप है. सबसे पहले हमको क्या मालूम करना पड़ता है वैल्यूएशन के लिए? सबसे पहले हमको मालूम करना पड़ता है कि हमारा पर्पस क्या है. एक बार पर्पस मालूम पड़ गया तो फिर अभी लिक्विडेशन के लिए है तो क्या प्रेमाइस होगी? लिक्विडेशन. अगर रनिंग कंपनी है तो क्या प्रेमाइस होगी? गोइंग कंसर्न. सो देन वी कम टू द नेक्स्ट स्टेज. एंड व्हाट आर द टू प्रेमाइसेस? देयर आर टू प्रेमाइसेस. वन इज गोइंग कंसर्न प्रेमाइस, एंड द second is your liquidation value premise. So these are the two premises on which we do the valuation. So ये अपना second stage हो गया. और देखिए कोई मुश्किल काम नहीं है. It's not a rocket science. It's not something very complex. एक बार आपको मालूम पड़ा कि पर्पस क्या है वैल्यूएशन का, तुरंत आपको ध्यान में आता है कि what is going to be the premise on which I will have to do the valuation. अगर एक रनिंग कंपनी है, कुछ सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है. द वैल्यूएशन हैज़ टू बी डन ऑन द प्रेमाइस ऑफ गोइंग कंसर्न. एक कंपनी बंद होने वाली है, एनसीएलटी में चली गई है, रिवाइवल की कोई पॉसिबिलिटी नहीं है, और रिवाइवल की पॉसिबिलिटी हो तो भी साथ साथ लिक्विडेशन वैल्यू तो वर्कआउट करना ही पड़ता है. सो दैट इज योर लिक्विडेशन वैल्यू. नाउ द थर्ड स्टेज इज टू अंडरस्टैंड द स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ वैल्यू. स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ वैल्यू. सो जब आप वैल्यूएशन कर रहे हैं तो उस समय आपको ये समझना जरूरी है कि what is the standard of value that I have to use. Is it the fair value? Is it the fair market value? Is it the intrinsic value? Is it the investment value? Or is it the synergistic value? So which are these values, value standards, standards of value that I have to use? So I would once again like to throw this open to all of you. So please let me know in case any one of you would like to tell me as to what do you understand by fair value. So one person can explain to all of us as to what is fair value. One person then can explain to all of us what is the fair market value. How do you arrive at the fair market value? What is the difference between the fair value and the fair market value? So this is what all of you can do. Anyone, please go ahead. Anyone?
It's the actual value of the property.
So you are explaining
in a particular year.
Actual value. So what do you mean by actual value?
Sorry.
What do you mean by actual value? What is fair value? What is the fair value in your understanding? आपके हिसाब से fair value क्या होती है?
It is the highest and best value of the property.
Is the highest and the best value of the property. Okay, very good. Someone, what is fair market value? Someone else. What is fair market value?
It is also the price.
It is. What is?
Transaction value?
It is transaction value. That is fair market value. Okay. What is intrinsic value? Anyone? What is intrinsic value?
Arm's length price.
Yes. What is intrinsic value?
Arm's length price.
Arm's length price. Is that intrinsic value? And
No,
how?
it is a fair value. What I said is a fair value.
Okay, so arm's length is fair value. Then what is intrinsic value?
Intrinsic value is the true value.
So what is true value?
True value means the black and white both.
What is
Excuse me.
is that the intrinsic value? काला और सफेद दोनों को मिला
Value is
के
also called a present value.
please go ahead. Somebody say
Liquidation value, sir.
is
It
is
is a liquidation value. Intrinsic value.
what is intrinsic value?
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead. I can hear you.
The fair value is yesterday's value. Fair market value is today's value.
Hmm.
Liquidation value is tomorrow's value.
Okay, so it's all past, present, and future. Today, tomorrow, and day after. Okay, very good. Now, friends, let's understand because when it comes to the valuation, and I can very easily understand. बहुत confusion है दिमाग में. क्यों confusion है? Fair value, fair market value, intrinsic value, investment value, synergistic value. What are these? How do you figure them out? And answer we need to find out by closely examining each of them. And friends, let me tell you, it may appear that there is an ambiguity. There is no ambiguity at all. So what is fair value? It's very simple. प्रणव wants to sell a car. प्रणव के पास में एक सेकेंड हैंड कार है और he wants to sell it. And he speaks to me and he says, I want to sell my second hand car. I'm looking for someone who can buy this car because I don't need it. Incidentally, I'm in need of a second hand car. So I said, all right, I would be interested in buying a second hand car. So let me have a look at your car in case if it serves my purpose, maybe I will buy it actually. So he says, all right, please come over to my place. You can have a look at the car and then we can discuss the price. So what I do, we are in the same city. तो मैंने एक मैकेनिक पकड़ा जिसको कि गाड़ी की अच्छी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है. उसको साथ में लेके गया प्रणव के घर. प्रणव ने मुझे गाड़ी दिखाई, मैंने मैकेनिक को गाड़ी दिखाई. मैकेनिक ने गाड़ी चेक करी और मुझे आके बताया कान में मेरे कि सर ये गाड़ी आप 2 लाख रुपए में ले लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. 2 लाख तक ठीक है, 2 लाख से ज़्यादा मत दो. तो मैंने कहा प्रणव ठीक है, ये गाड़ी में लेने को तैयार हूँ एंड आई विल पे यू 1,80,000 रुपीज़. इज दैट ओके फॉर यू? प्रणव ने कहा नहीं सर 1,80,000 तो कम होगा, लेट अस एग्री फॉर 1,90,000. तो आई सेड ऑल राइट प्रणव लेट अस डू द डील. सो वी एग्री, बोथ ऑफ अस एग्री for a price of 1,90,000. Remember, there is no relationship between me and Pranav. There is no other consideration other than 1,90,000 that I will pay to him. उसके अलावा और कोई consideration नहीं है. हम दोनों में कोई relationship नहीं है, किसी तरह का कोई contact नहीं है. And he is agreeable to that price. I am also agreeable to that price. Both of us are agreeable to that price, and I am sure Pranav also must have done his homework before agreeing for a price of 1,90,000 or before offering a price of 1,90,000. So both of us are agreeing as a market participant. This becomes fair value. This is fair value, fair to both. Fair to both. Neither Pranav is under any kind of coercion, nor I am under any kind of coercion. Neither he is under any kind of force, nor I am I am under any kind of force. So both of us are doing it willingly. This becomes a fair value. Fair value, something.
Actual worth.
Actual worth, see, actual worth is difficult to determine because actual worth is something that you will have to go deeper into it. But both of us have agreed prima facie to a price and it is a fair because प्रणव को मालूम है कि सर ने अपना कुछ इन्फ्लुएंस मेरे ऊपर यूज़ नहीं किया है और मुझे भी मालूम है कि प्रणव ने मुझे किसी तरह से इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं किया है कि सर थोड़ा ज़्यादा पे कर दो. तो दैट इट्स ए फेयर वैल्यू. इट इज़ फेयर टू बोथ ऑफ अस. फेयर वैल्यू. दिस इज फेयर वैल्यू. फेयर टू बोथ. दैट मीन्स दोनों कस्टमर, दोनों बायर एंड सेलर को कोई भी तकलीफ नहीं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. व्हाट इज फेयर मार्केट वैल्यू? प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, इट्स वेरी सिंपल. प्रणव हैज टू सेल हिज कार. आई एम इन Pune, he is in Delhi or some other city. So what he does, instead of talking to someone and to find a buyer, he puts details of his car on Car Dekho or on any of these e-portals. He puts all the details and he puts a price. तो उन्होंने 2.5 लाख का प्राइस डाला. 2 दिन वेट किया, कोई क्वेरी नहीं आया. फिर उन्होंने उसको 2.25 लाख का किया. फिर कोई क्वेरी नहीं आया, खाली एक मेल आया कि आप की गाड़ी देख सकते हैं क्या. तो प्रणव को लगा कि यार गाड़ी तो बेचनी है, कोई नहीं यार. तो प्रणव ब्रॉट द रीकोट, चेंज द प्राइस टू 2 lakh. And then he started getting queries that yes, I would be interested. And now both of them decides the price. Now this is fair market value. So when the price is decided by the market, that becomes fair market value. So when the price is being decided between the buyer and the seller, it is a fair value. When you bring the market into the picture, it becomes fair market value. So the shares that you buy on the stock market is a fair market value. Why it is fair market value? Because this value is decided by the market. So the fair value, remember, is very simple. Fair value is value which is decided between two willing buyer and seller. Fair market value, when you bring a market into the picture, it becomes fair market value. So कार देखो को लेके आ गए, क्विकर को लेके आ गए, या और भी जो पोर्टल्स हैं दुनिया भर के, उसमें से आपने वहाँ उसके थ्रू अगर आपने डीलिंग किया तो दैट बिकम्स योर फेयर मार्केट वैल्यू. व्हाट इज इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू? बहुत लोगों को लगता है कि इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू बड़ा पेचीदा मामला होगा. इंट्रिंसिक, कुछ इंट्रिंसिक यानी कुछ अंदर की बात होगी. तो लोगों को लगता है कि इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू बहुत सब्जेक्टिव होगी. और मैं आपको बताऊं कि इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू इज द मोस्ट ऑब्जेक्टिव वे टू फाइंड आउट वैल्यू ऑफ अ बिजनेस और ऑफ एन एसेट. सो हाउ डू यू फाइंड व्हाट इज इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू? वी ऑल अंडरस्टैंड इट. हम सबको मालूम है प्रेजेंट वैल्यू. वी ऑल अंडरस्टैंड प्रेजेंट वैल्यू. प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ फ्यूचर कैश फ्लोज. Present value of future cash flows. So what is intrinsic value? Intrinsic value is total of present value of all future cash flows of that entity. That is present value. As simple as that. That is intrinsic value. So the total of all the present values of all the years of a company put together is intrinsic value. And I hope everybody understands this very clearly. Intrinsic value is nothing but total of present value of all the future cash flow of a company put together is intrinsic value. And please remember, intrinsic value is the most commonly used method of valuation across the globe for the going concerns. So when you are doing valuation of a company based on going concern, remember intrinsic value method is the most often used method for the purpose of valuation. So that's your intrinsic value. Fourth is investment value. What is investment value? Investment value, and you can see in the bracket it reads special value. इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब यह है कि किसी एसेट में किसी का स्पेशल इंटरेस्ट हो सकता है, किसी एसेट में किसी का स्पेशल इंटरेस्ट हो सकता है, और अगर किसी का किसी एसेट में स्पेशल इंटरेस्ट है, इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब ये है कि वो इंसान इस एसेट के लिए कुछ ज़्यादा पे करने को तैयार हो सकता है. सो दैट इज इन्वेस्टमेंट वैल्यू. दैट इज इन्वेस्टमेंट वैल्यू. स्पेशल वैल्यू, दैट मीन्स किसी a particular person may have a special interest in a particular asset. So when that special interest which he has is referred as investment value. And finally, what you have is the synergistic value. So what is synergistic value? Very simple, friends. I think the answer can be nothing better than this. 1 plus 1 is not equal to 2. 1 plus 1 is equal to 11. So 11 minus 2 is equal to 9. 9 is the synergistic value. So what is synergistic value? Synergistic value is the incremental value arising out of combination of two or more assets. So when two or more assets are coming together, then the aggregate, then the value of the combination of all these assets coming together is more than the aggregate of individual value of all these entities. And the difference between the aggregate of the individual value of these combining entities and the value arising out of the combination, the difference is synergistic value. तो मैं वापस से रिपीट करूंगा. सिनर्जिस्टिक वैल्यू का मतलब क्या है? 1 plus 1 is equal to 11 and 11 minus 2 is the synergistic value. So friends, these are the 5 standards of value that you have to use in case of valuation. So the first process, the purpose, the second stage is the premise of valuation, and the third stage is your standard of value. And these are the 5 standards of value that we use in case of valuation. Let's now go to the next stage, and the next stage, and which is the final stage also, and the final stage is the approaches and the methods of valuation. और मैं आपको बताऊं फ्रेंड्स कि ये जो पोर्शन है, दिस इज द मोस्ट क्रिटिकल पोर्शन.